Hey guys, I'm the one who pulls the strings, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not usually, this is not as original or as artistic or even creative as my other YouTube videos. But this is content and I'm creating it, so yeah. I recently just saw a bunch of people doing like their favorite YouTubers, especially like the smaller YouTube channels. You know, they talk about their favorite YouTubers and influences and all that kind of stuff, so I decided why not hop along that bandwagon and join. So yeah, I have my list of YouTubers over here and I put them in 3 different groups. First group of people I'm going to be talking about is considered maybe the more normal YouTubers, the ones that you tend to see every day, the ones that are usually more popular. And the second group is what I consider to be less popular, but it's like more of a production, very artistic, something that I deeply respect. And then the third category are theory channels. So yeah. Anyway, let's get started. Alright guys, so let's talk about the first group on this list. And I just wanted to say to those who are on this first list, I am not afraid to criticize them. So if you feel very strongly about one of the YouTubers I speak about, and if I decide to give a little bit of criticism, then please do not be shocked or surprised. But yeah, that's what I just tend to do. And like, I want to talk about how they influenced me and just kind of my journey on how I view them as a YouTuber now and back then. So let's get started. And I have my phone to make sure I am updated on all of their YouTube stuff, so I don't make any so I don't make any mistakes about what their content is about. And right now I'm checking the first people on my group in the first people on my list in group 1. Okay. So the first people I wanted to talk about is Dennis Not on Fire and Amazing Phil. Now, I also, as much as I like them together, they're very good. They're very good friends and they create amazing content together, but I believe that they do the best work and more creative work when they are apart. That doesn't mean that they should not that doesn't mean that they shouldn't make videos together. I'm just saying that that's what I believe, and I think that's good. They have their originality, and they are individuals, so there's that. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is Amazing Phil, yeah. So when I first got into YouTube and everything like that, these two boys were actually one of the first YouTubers I have ever saw. And it was actually weird because I went on like this site and it mentioned Dan and Phil, and I was like, who are these people? I don't understand, you know. It's like, because it was under like a category like web series, and I was like, who is Dan and Phil? I always thought it was gonna be some like animated show on YouTube, but no, they were real people. They were vloggers. And so when I saw Amazing Phil's channel, I instantly fell in love with it because I just loved how positive it was and how it had a different take on vlogging. Like, it wasn't like daily vlogging. It was more of like a compilation of very interesting things, and like to be able to say it to an audience rather than showing them. I think that's a very essential part in Amazing Phil's or Phil Lester's vlogs, is that he uses a lot of creativity to tell his stories about everyday life, and he makes it relatable but very, very positive, and that's what I instantly loved about his channel. And then I looked back at his older videos and I saw how creative they were, and he still is pretty creative to this day, even though I feel it might be in a different direction. That happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. For me, that isn't necessarily a negative or a positive change. It just is what it is. But I think throughout the 10 years he's been on YouTube, I think. Or I think it's even more now. But But throughout that time, he has been very, very consistent on what he stands for and what he wants to do content-wise. So I really respect him for doing that. So I really don't have criticism for Amazing Phil. I really like his channel. And yeah, that's all there is to it. He is definitely a person who influences me to be very positive on YouTube, because I think it's very important to let that vibe out into your audience, and it's just something that I'm instantly very attracted to. It is positivity, whether it's confident or not, but that's a whole different story. Okay, next of course is Dan is Not on Fire, who is associated with Amazing Phil, hence their stage name or brand, Dan and Phil. Anyway, Dan is Not on Fire, so I saw his channel second after I saw Phil's channel, because obviously his channel was linked and he appeared in many videos. So I took a look and I loved his videos so much. I thought they were so funny and I thought they were so relatable. I looked at all his videos and they were just incredible. They were incredibly funny and hilarious and smart, and like it could always bring a smile to my face, and like the humor was so like, it was very dry wit, so it was very it was very good. I loved it, and it was just sarcastic. It was just very sarcastic in a way that really reaches to like a person like me, or even like an audience age group like me. So that's what I love about Dan. Now, like what happened to me is that as time went on, I still stuck with Amazing Phil's work. Like, I really liked his work. He still pretty much does what he does. He has been very consistent, and he has been known to make his own challenges and tags, so he is very creative, he is very consistent. He doesn't really change up his content that much, but then what happened is that my love for Dan's video kind of faded away, because the more I progressed into his channel, the more new content he uploaded, the less I started to like the content he uploaded. And let me check to see where it all started, because there was like this one point where I knew that like his videos weren't the same anymore. Okay, for me, it's ever since they released their book, actually. Like, everything before that point is actually very good, and yeah, I like it a lot. It's very original, and I didn't mind him uploading maybe only once a month if he made good content like that. But when you go up, all you see are like, I don't know. To me, it's not as original or as good as his old content used to be. And people change, of course, but it's just not my type of thing. And I feel like Dan has been very inconsistent with his videos, and I don't know, I feel like he's having trouble keeping his individuality and his originality. I feel like he's slowly fading away into what we call the Gleam team on YouTube, which would be Zoella and Alfie and Marcus and all those people who are associated with the Gleam team or Gleam management. So I feel like he's been leaning towards that, honestly, and I don't know. I'm not too happy about it, but it is what it is, and we're just gonna have to see and find out what is gonna happen to his channel in the near future, so yeah. Anyway, I think my camera, oh, never mind, I have 35 minutes left, good. I thought it said I only had like 7 seconds, I was like, oh no, 7-second challenge. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to the next people on my list. Okay, the next people in group 2 is Brandon Rogers and PewDiePie, and the reason why I grouped them together is because I feel like they kind of have the same type of humor in a sense. Usually when people look at my content or look at my artwork or anything like that, they don't really expect me to like YouTubers like Brandon Rogers or PewDiePie, because people deem them as maybe borderline offensive. People deem them as maybe not very artistic or original or creative, but in truth, they make me laugh. They make me laugh so hard. And when I watched PewDiePie, that's what really got me into YouTube, I think, is that his personality really caught my attention, and he just made me laugh so hard. And it just goes to show how much humor is very important in YouTube. Like, not everybody needs to have it, but it's important to have something you can laugh at in YouTube. Like, for many people it could be Vines, Try Not to Laugh Challenge, anything, but for me that's PewDiePie. And at first he was. I don't really watch his videos nowadays, but I definitely I really liked his videos when I was younger, and I don't know, it was just something that inspired me, to be honest, because I don't know, he's a very humble guy despite what many people would think of him. He's very sarcastic. He may brag about things, but those are usually out of sarcasm or jokes or exaggerations, but he really is a humble guy, and seeing that made me connect to him even more. That made me gain respect for him even more, because I see a lot of YouTubers who have maybe only less than half of the subscribers he has, but they are so arrogant. They like to show off, and that is something I don't like in a YouTuber. But when I saw PewDiePie, he was very humble, and he always thanks his fans, and he was just like a guy from Sweden. And it was just a nice story. His story is a really nice story. He was a guy from Sweden, and then something amazing happened to him, and he really worked for it. It wasn't like he leeched off people to get his fame. No, I don't believe that, at least. He really did work for it. And also, he is a very talented artist. If you've seen PewDiePie's artworks on YouTubers, they are absolutely phenomenal. They're absolutely amazing, and I just think they're so beautiful. So that gives me even more respect for him. And another thing that gives me respect for him is the way he can use both his art and his comedy for a YouTube channel. He takes Photoshop. He is very good at Photoshop, and I believe that's what he uses to create artwork and everything. He is extremely good at Photoshop, and it's so funny when he uses Photoshop, and I just really like PewDiePie. He's a good guy, so that's that. Now, moving on to Brandon Rogers. Now, he is a guy that I only got into maybe a few days ago, but honestly, his content makes me laugh so hard. And if you guys haven't seen Brandon Rogers, he is a storyteller. He truly is a storyteller. He is a comedian, but he is a storyteller. You go into one of his videos. His most popular one is Day in the Park. I think it has like 18 million views. It is so funny. You get drawn right into it, and it's just so crazy and hilarious, and then you get to meet all his different characters that he makes and he plays, and it's just, he is a master storyteller. That's all I can say. And like, he is so funny, and I think he can take very serious things and sometimes make it very lighthearted. So it just depends on what your type of humor is and whether he is your cup of tea or not. But he definitely can shock people, but he can definitely make you laugh too. So I love Brandon Rogers. He is very funny, and I also think he lives close to the city near me, which is interesting. I think one of my friends saw him once. I don't know though. Okay, next on this list, still group number 1, because it's the longest. Hold on, let me see, because I have grouped these together. Okay, the next I have grouped is Superfruit and Smosh. Yeah, Superfruit and Smosh. Yeah, I think I shall pair those up together. Okay, so let's talk about Superfruit first. I really like Pentatonics. I've heard their music before. I wasn't that into them, but then I found Scott and Mitch's YouTube channel that they have together, which is Superfruit, and I just instantly I just instantly loved their content that they made. And you see, they make very basic content. The stuff that they do by no means is original on their channel, unless you count, you know, all the covers and everything they do. They do a lot of challenges, they do a lot of basic things, but the reason why I can stand that is because they legitimately have a talent to share. They are in a band, they are very successful, they are extremely talented, their voices are amazing, and their chemistry as friends is absolutely wonderful, and I think it's genuine. And that's where it comes to me for Dan and Phil, is that I think that it was genuine at first, but then somehow in there, like, some parts became fake, some parts became real. Like, it's confusing, but for me, I never got that vibe from Mitch or Scott, so I just really liked it. And I think they inspired me to take kind of like a break from artistic videos too, because it's tiring, but it also made me realize that I'm a little bit like them. Obviously, I'm not in a famous singing group or anything like that, but I do maintain other things than YouTube. I do make art, I do sing, I do make music, so there are other things that I definitely need to focus on. So for me, it's okay to take a break, and for me, I think that's a great way for them to take a break, because doing all that creative stuff for Pentatonix must be really hard to do, you know, 24/7, constantly coming up with arrangements, ideas, notes, compositions, lyrics, everything. That's very hard. So I think something fun like that, like having a channel like that, is amazing. So I really respect them for that. So okay, next one is Smosh. Now Smosh is a channel that I watched way before I got into YouTubing. I absolutely love Smosh. I loved them more back then. Nowadays, they're alright, but I loved them more back then. And their videos, I just found, were so funny. And they're kind of like Brandon Roger. They're storytellers, but in like a slightly different way. I think they're kind of like semi-vloggers slash comedians. I think they tend to take a truth and then they'll build a whole skit around it, which I think is so funny, and I think that's actually really creative, to bring in your personality or like half a truth and to be able to make a comedy or to make a skit around it. I think that's very funny, and I just loved watching them every Friday, and I would always go back to their old videos, and their songs would always be stuck in my head. So I love their songs, actually. I don't know if they wrote them or not, but I really like their songs. They are so catchy, so I love them. Anyway, so yeah, Smosh is definitely one of my biggest influences. They're up there with PewDiePie and many other people that I will end up mentioning. I think I accidentally... No, it's fine, yeah. Okay, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, Smosh definitely is a big influence. Alright, next person on this list, he is not grouped with anybody. He is still in group number 1, which is, quote-unquote regular YouTuber or more popular YouTuber, but I didn't group him up with anybody else because I feel like he is a very original YouTuber and he doesn't really compare to many other people. His name is Christian Novelli. He doesn't make many YouTube videos now, but I saw his YouTube videos and I was so obsessed with his style and just how beautiful it was. Like, he is a true artist. He really is a true artist. He can take a lot of source materials, a lot of original material, combine them together to make something very, very unique. And every one of his videos has an experience, and I think that's one of the best things a video can do to you, is give you an experience. Like, truly give you an experience. So I think, yeah, I love his channel. It's very creative, it's very artistic, and that's where I get most of my influence on how to make my channel. Stylistically, I definitely borrow things from him, and yeah, he's just a very big influence. So thank you. So if Christian Novelli, you're if you're watching out there, thank you very much for influencing me and for giving me so much inspiration. And I know he took down his older videos, but his older videos were incredibly unique. He did vlogging of sorts, but they were super, super unique, and I just loved it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's strange and it's funny and it's sweet and enduring all at the same time. And I think one of my favorite videos from him, I believe it's 46 Reasons to Exist and Breakfast Party. Those two videos I just absolutely love it. Okay, time to go on to the last two of this list, I think. Let me check. Cross that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh, well, I could have paired someone up with Christian Novelli, I guess, in terms of being different. Okay. I guess I'll do this YouTuber different too. Yandere Dev. He is the developer of Yandere Simulator, which is a pretty popular game, and I really like the game. It's super funny. And I really admire his style of video. It's very informative. His voice is really soothing. It's nice. And I just really like his style and how open he is, and he likes to share progress and ideas, and I really like being able to see how people build their ideas. That's one of the most beautiful things to me, the process of an idea, to show how you come up with that idea or connecting things together. But that's how I'm gonna leave it at, because I don't know, I'm not a gaming channel, but I absolutely love his channel, so I definitely wanted to mention that. Okay, next up is Swoozie and the Third Pew. Now these two I love so much, like honestly. I'm gonna talk about Swoozie first. I watched Swoozie a while back. I subscribed and I unsubscribed and I subscribed to him again, and his stories are just so funny, and I love the fact that he can animate or make storyboards of sorts, and or an animatic. I think that's what people call it on YouTube nowadays, but I absolutely love how he can do that. It is so funny. His stories are so funny, and I love how, and it's like the same thing with Smosh, except a little less exaggerated. He takes the truth and he can make a whole story, he can make a setting, a character, and everything tends to be interconnected, and it's just really good and relatable. Very relatable content. Okay, now I wanted to get... Oh, one more thing about Swoozie is that he is also very humble. He always meets up with his fans. He is very thankful and often takes time out of his day to meet fans, especially during VidCon. Because the lines are extremely long during VidCon to meet your favorite stars, so he will often go outside or some other place to meet other people, and he will definitely talk to people, which is, I feel, some celebrities or YouTube stars don't have the time to, or just don't do it. So I really respect him that he goes out there and reaches his fans. That is a very good and nice thing to do, and something that you don't see that often. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to the Third Pew. He is who I look up to, in a sense, when talking about opinions and views. He has a very strong opinion, and he believes in a lot of the things that I believe in, which is creativity, originality on YouTube, and all these things. And you really have to check out his channel, and he just makes very thought-compelling work. He really makes you think about things, and it really gives you a whole new perspective on the internet. And sometimes it's just good to know that there are like-minded people, and I think the one video that really drew me to him, and sometimes I watched this video over and over again because I just thought it was super well made and it had a super important, but it was a video demanding an apology from Nash Greer and I think his two other friends who just misused YouTube and insulted their fan base. So I think it's beautiful how he uses his YouTube channel to spread awareness and to make sure that people feel good about themselves. He definitely makes people feel good about themselves. If you need self-esteem boost, he is definitely the person to go to. Okay, and I think that's everybody on my number 1 list. So yeah, let's move on to list number 2. Alright guys, let's move on to group number 2, and surprisingly, or coincidentally, it only has 2 names on it, and it doesn't surprise me because these are 2 very different channels, but I decided to group them together. This is the more stranger side of YouTube, but also very artistic and original, and just overall very good, and should check them out. First one I will talk about is That Poppy. I absolutely love That Poppy. She is a legitimate artist with a job and a record deal and everything, but when you look on her personal YouTube channel, she has extremely weird videos, and those usually allude to the music industry and how many artists lose their souls or creativity to the music industry and just how it works, and it's just amazing how she portrays that. And surprisingly, there are different characters made out of inanimate objects. There is her plant, a skeleton, Charlotte the mannequin, who is my personal favorite to be honest, but these all play a different role in what we call the music industry. There's Poppy, the main star, there's Charlotte, who's a reporter slash jealous fan, there's Plant, who used to be Poppy's best friend, but now they don't keep contact. There's Skeleton, who doesn't care about anything. It's just an amazing series, and I haven't caught up with all of it yet. And honestly, it may be hard to understand at first because she can get very repetitive in one video, but usually you can look down in the comments and it'll make sense some way. And obviously, I looked at many theory videos about That Poppy, so that also helps. Okay. Anyway, next, y'all heard me give praise to this series before, but it's Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. I absolutely love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and I think it's just genius. The people behind it are absolutely genius. They portrayed basically our struggle today as the new media generation. Like, I truly, truly believe that, and that's a whole big theory, but it shows how we work. It shows, it shows how susceptible we are to TV and the media, but it also shows how strong we are in creating our own futures and contents and choosing what's important to us than being told what's important to us. So Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is just very good, and its production quality is amazing, and the puppets, the cinematography, everything is great. The song is just, if I were to give it a rating, it would be 10 out of 10, or maybe even 100 out of 10, honestly. So, I love Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Okay, since there was only 2, I might as well just do group 3. Yeah, I'll do group 3 in the same take. So, group 3 is theory channels. I'm just going to be talking about them shortly because there's not really much to say other than that they really make YouTube very interesting. Okay, so the ones that I grouped together is the Game Theorists, YouTube Explained, and Inside a Mind. These are all theory channels, and they often come up with either very accurate or very far-fetched theories. For game theory, they develop theories for game, and they're very compelling and thought-provoking and surprisingly very accurate at some points, and it's just beautiful. Then of course there's YouTube Explain, who explains YouTube channels, and I think it's very interesting because a lot of YouTube channels are very, very hard to understand. So he does a great job on that. He takes them and he will definitely explain a lot of things to you if you are confused about any weird video on YouTube, including Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, or That Poppy, or Teddy Has an Operation, all those infamous videos and everything. Okay, and then of course there's Inside a Mind. He has got to be my favorite Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared theorist out there, honestly. He takes all the evidence, he slams it down, he gives it a setting, a scenario, he gives it evidence, he gives it proof. He really does his research on it. He's really good. And I also saw his latest theory on Lasagna Cat, which is another channel. And honestly, I should make another YouTube of weird channels that I like. But anyway, he makes very good videos, and he can definitely analyze. He can analyze anything. Give him like any piece of evidence and he will turn that around and he can make it happen. So anyway, that will be the end of my video. I've gone long enough. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Probably one of my longest videos on my channel, but hey, it'll be my first video that it will be through full screen, which is a partnership that I kind of signed up for. So let's see how it goes, guys. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.